gracefully. So, Reba, I got an idea. You should come down to the gym and meet Jordan, my trainer. Reba swallowed hard, trying to keep the green sludge down. Seriously? He will change your life, Barbara Jean insisted, her eyes shining with pure devotion. I mean, he is so much more than a personal trainer. He taught me how to work out and eat right. We go over the clothes I am going to wear, the movies I am going to see. Reba paused, the glass halfway to her mouth. She raised an eyebrow, a skeptical look spreading across her face. Whoa, the movies you are going to see? What does that have to do with you getting in shape? Barbara Jean waved her hand dismissively, giggling lightly. Oh, nothing. We just have the same sense of humor. That Tim Allen just kills us. I mean, whether he is playing a dog or Santa Claus, you just buy it. So, you will come meet Jordan. Reba shook her head firmly, setting the glass down. No. Barbara Jean pouted, stepping closer. Oh, come on, Reba. I want my best girlfriend to meet my best boyfriend. She froze, her eyes widening in horror as the words left her mouth. She slapped a hand over her lips. Boyfriend? Oh, whoops. That came out wrong. Oh. Reba stared at her, the silence stretching out for a long, uncomfortable moment. Well, thanks anyway, Reba said slowly, picking her glass back up. But I am just going to be here with my smoothie. Delicious, just like fruit gravy. Just then, Brock reappeared from the living room, a nervous energy radiating from him. He adjusted his collar, looking everywhere but at Barbara Jean. Oh, hey, Barbara Jean, here you are. Listen, how would you like to go out and grab a quick lunch? Just the two of us. Barbara Jean looked at the clock on the stove, shaking her head apologetically. Oh, honey, I cannot. I am going to the gym. Brock's face fell. He took a step closer, his voice dropping to a softer, more pleading tone. Well, cannot you skip it just this once? Come on. I will take you to that romantic French place you like so much. Barbara Jean laughed, a bright, tinkling sound. Really? Skip the gym and eat French food? No confondu bras. With a final, radiant smile, she grabbed her designer gym bag from the chair and practically skipped out the back door. Brock stood in the middle of the kitchen, staring at the closed door. His shoulders slumped, and he let out a heavy sigh. Man, she blew me off again. All she wants to do is go down to the gym and spend time with Jordan, her trainer. Reba leaned back against the counter, wiping the counter clean with a sponge. Exactly. Brock began to pace the length of the kitchen, his hands shoved deep into his pockets. Frankly, I like the new but the new attitude not so much. Reba chuckled darkly, tossing the sponge into the sink. Oh, that is really funny coming from the old butt. Brock stopped pacing, pointing a finger in the air. Jordan is so great. Jordan is so toned and funny. Well, I have news for you. Nobody is toned and funny. Reba rolled her eyes, moving to start loading the dishwasher. Rob, you are overreacting. Oh, really? Brock challenged, his voice rising in pitch. He ran a hand through his hair, a look of genuine panic setting into his features. Yeah, I think she might be having an affair with this guy. Reba stopped what she was doing and stared at her ex-husband. Barbara Jean with her trainer? Brock nodded frantically. I mean, sure, he is probably a better man than you are, better looking and younger. But, he stopped, struggling to find the words. He walked over to Reba, looking at her with wide, desperate eyes. That is it. Reba, I need you to help me out. I want you to go down to the gym and see if there is anything going on. You know, spy on him for me. Reba practically choked on the air. She slammed the dishwasher door shut. No way, you know. Barbara Jean may have a long list of faults, and I have that list if you need a copy. But she is nothing if not faithful. Brock scoffed, pacing again. Yeah, right, up until now. But now that she is thin and hot, she has all kinds of options. Reba walked around the island, planting herself firmly in front of Brock to stop his pacing. She placed her hands on her hips, her expression serious and compassionate. Look, Brock, if it is worrying you that much, be honest with her. Tell her how you feel. Tell her that you just need a hug every now and then. Brock let out a loud, mocking laugh, throwing his arms up. Oh, now there is a great idea. See? Why, since my competition is a macho, muscular dude, I should go the other way and appear all weak and whiny. Your solutions are ridiculous. Reba makes me to spy on those. Stupid. He pointed a shaky finger at the blender, unable to form a coherent sentence in his agitated state. Hard to believe they are supposed to be good for you. With a final huff of frustration, Brock stormed out of the kitchen. Reba stood alone for a moment, the silence of the room contrasting sharply with the chaotic energy that had just departed. She sighed, looking at her half-finished smoothie. A moment later, Van jogged through the kitchen, wearing brightly colored athletic shorts and a tank top. He stopped, looking at Reba holding the green glass. Hey, Mrs. H, you off for your power walk? Reba shook her head slowly. Man, I love old people. Power walking, moving along, swinging their arms, like there is a big sale for false teeth. No, I am not going for my power walk. Van leaned against the counter, taking a sudden interest in the conversation. This whole physical thing is getting everybody acting wacko. What do you mean? Reba asked, genuinely curious. Van lowered his voice, adopting a philosophical tone. Well, your dad thinks that the guy who gave Barbara Jean her new body is wanting to take a forespin. He probably does. Reba frowned, setting the glass down. What are you talking about? Van nodded wisely, crossing his arms. Guys are pigs. They are dogs. They are all animals. They just care about hot women. They are hot dogs. My point is that when you have a hot lady, you have to keep your guard up at all times. Reba looked at Van, her expression deadpan. I used to. Van's eyes widened, realizing how his words had sounded. You used to? No, baby, do not take it like that. It is just that I have grown into a mature, stable individual. That is all. Before Reba could respond, Cheyenne walked into the kitchen. Her eyes were slightly red, and she carried a plastic shopping bag. Well, I do not like it, Cheyenne announced, her voice trembling slightly. Van rushed over to her, wrapping his arms around her shoulders. Where have you been? Cheyenne sniffled, leaning into his embrace. I went to get something to eat. Reba watched the young couple, a soft smile touching her lips. She turned back to the counter, her thoughts returning to Brock's paranoid rant. Later that afternoon, Reba found Ben sitting on the back porch, tossing a tennis ball against the siding of the house. She sat down on the wooden steps next to him, watching the rhythmic bounce of the ball. Reba murmured, breaking the comfortable silence. So, Ben, you think that Brock might be right about this trainer? Ben caught the ball and held it, turning to look at his mother. He possessed a surprising wisdom for his age. Sure, this guy could be hot for Barbara Jean, but since Barbara Jean is not looking to play, there is no problem, and it is obvious Barbara Jean is not looking. Reba tilted her head, intrigued. Why is this obvious? Ben held up 2 fingers. 2 reasons. Barbara Jean is not good at keeping secrets, and she thinks of you as her best friend. If she were fooling around with this guy, she would be constantly talking about him to you. Heck, she would probably even want you to meet him. Reba's eyes widened as the realization hit her like a freight train. Meet him? Oh! She stood up abruptly, brushing off the back of her jeans. Ben looked up at her, confused. Where are you going? Go down to the gym with the rest of the wackos, Reba declared, marching toward the door with newfound determination. Ben smiled, tossing the ball against the wall again. All right, well, keep those arms a-swinging. The atmosphere of the local athletic club was entirely foreign to Reba. As she pushed through the heavy glass doors, she was immediately hit by a wall of air-conditioned oxygen.